story is dedicated to anyone experiencing hair loss and being self-conscious of their outer appearance. Yes, we know inner beauty is more important than outer appearance. However, if it can boost your self-esteem and confidence, go for it. That's why this book and story is dedicated to anyone experiencing hair loss or feeling like they did not fit in or do not fit in. Princess Propeesha loves you all. And you can always ask her for positive reinforcement. Even though this story brings to the limelight the awareness of a condition called alopecia areata, or sudden hair loss that starts with one or more circular bald patches that may overlap, ultimately it is a story about fitting in and feeling good about oneself and not being in pain. You may wonder if there is in fact pain associated with hair loss. Yes, there is. The unnecessary shame, repressed emotions, and hiding rather than living that takes place. This can definitely put a damper on anyone's existence, physical and psychological. Thereby, this is the story of Princess Propeesha and the Magic Hair Gardens. Illustrated and authored by me. Alopecia areata occurs when the immune system attacks hair follicles and may be brought on by severe stress. However, unfortunately, that is just one way of losing our hair. Once upon a time, in a far-off universe and dimension, a princess was reincarnated as a royal baby, and they called her Princess Propeesha. There she is. Don't let her vulnerable appearance deceive you. She understands everything and is wise and intelligent above all. In this existence, she had many sets of parents, some biological, some psychic, some undefined. There is where she attributed her charm. She was beautiful inside and out because love and power poured from her heart. They had dared to summon her back because they were under attack. Her purpose and mission of coming back was to care enough to deliver a hairy invention that defied any existing relevant convention. To whom, you may ask? To earthlings who suffer hair loss. Why would she care about providing a solution to beings on a planet not within her realm? Because that is what she was all about love and dissolving pain throughout dimensions, universes, and time. Princess Propeesha is divine. Her powers encompass quelling pain. Her infinite wisdom connected to the Master Creator endowed her with the power of seeing an unfair imbalance. If one living entity is hurting, we all suffer, but may not even be aware of it. Over millennia, Princess Propeesha came to the aid of countless entities hurting over aspects of their life that made them not fit in and thereby unnecessarily felt bad about themselves. What many in her stature might have considered insignificant could in fact alter the very fabric and balance of everyone's existence. Hence, she could not jeopardize this latest tragedy from coming into fruition. Thereby, she began on her pain-combating mission. From a baby to a young maiden, Princess Propeesha transformed overnight. The impossible became just right. That's Princess Propeesha and her magic hair garden. Princess Propeesha planted a magical hair garden and nursed it to grow on her hair plantation under the oak tree by the enormous mansion we now know of. The magical hair gardens grew and grew, fed by many secret ingredients that only Princess Propeesha knew. Princess Propeesha had many allies that helped her grow the magical hair garden to make everyone glow. One of these allies was Harloius. He had the specialty of protecting the hair crop and making sure weeds don't invade. By the way, anywhere that you see words within these little 2 flower asterisks, please note words in between these 2 little asterisks are from alien languages, and therefore proper spelling and phonetic pronunciation is questionable. Not an easy process, as the hair flowers could magically talk and express themselves, and even were able to complain if their conditions were not met. Happy hair flowers delivered beautiful hair, crops to adorn bald or balding human head tops. Unhappiness stunted their growth. So they always had to be happy. The way the process worked was that every season each flower grew a full head of hair. They came in every color, fashion, style to cover every gamut of everyone's hair needs. There were limitless options to suit each blessed and lucky recipient. There were so many happy benefactors. All they had to do was place the magic flower-grown hair on their scalp, and incredibly and immediately merged with their body's makeup and become one with them. How does one get a hold of such hair? The hair seeks them out. The hair flower knows who the next crop of hair to give without any reprieve. There is no infinite amount to go around, no need to frown. Recipients never had to worry about their hair problems ever again. Endless amounts of such acts of kindness and love stemmed various galaxies, planets, and universes galore, like on the Lion and Elephant planet. Elders there recalled how Princess Propeesha created a solution to provide endless clean water for their planet and created a magical garden of protective living vine warriors, ensuring that they would never be invaded in their safe domain. The magical garden on the Lion planet protected them from foreign poachers trying to hunt them down for the precious fur and tusks on their terrain no more. No more worry, no more pain. Princess Propeesha did it again. millions of years since, the lion and elephant planet was enjoying endless peace, love free from pain. The world rejoiced to have received this gift of healing hope. Families came together, encouraging one another to be their best self, no matter what they had undergone from chemotherapy or radiation, or known of someone who had survived this cancerous devastation. They could still look good with the magic hair that improved their existence. Okay, it's just hair, you may say, but looking good is a placebo effect for feeling good. Looking good, feeling good. The planet of the rumbling warriors can vouch for that. Yes, we can definitely vouch for the fact that Princess Propeesha saved us and our planet. On Rumbling Warrior's planet, if anyone was weak, they did not fit in. So Princess Propeesha planted a magical garden of exoskeletons. Like a suit of armor, once they put it on, they were invincible and non-discernible from the rest. The exoskeleton merged with their deoxyribonucleic acid and became one. Their strength and size increased from weakling to worthy opponents and eliminated competition from their rumbling warrior tradition. Hello, dear friends, creative aficionados and truth seekers. My name is Valsylvia. Yeah, that's me, Valsylvia. On my planet, Princess Propeesha created the magical psychic waterfall garden of bravery and consciousness. Anyone who was not in tune with their mind's psychic eye and not aware of their special qualities would ache in pain until they were equipped and empowered with this distinct magical enlightenment. Yes, we owe our existence to her. Thank you, Princess Propeesha. We are a race of psychics and empaths. With Princess Propeesha's magical solution, everyone was healed and sharing these gifts to help each other because we have to love one another, sisters and brothers. Princess Propeesha has many allies who take her side and fight the good fight to eliminate pain, whether it's psychological or physical. Ethereal warrior Leraha is one of these friends. His superpower of slaying pain with his sword is at her command. Another ally of Princess Propeesha is Lady Makrulaila of the legendary nebula Kraton Galaxy, is a powerful mystic who creates potions that make the impossible become possible and resolved. Her beauty enchants, while her brilliance entrances her subjects to see hope where there is none. Just like Princess Propeesha, she is immortal and has worked together on many solutions to help cure pain wherever and whichever form it may exist in. Her mission, pain eradication. Princess Propeesha and Lamakrulula seem to have a special bond because they were one of a kind. Another one of Princess Propeesha's allies includes Master Coexister Zabrilakalone, who had many incredible powers of mutating, adapting, coexisting, and replicating. Together they formed a union to fight pain and all its dark mutations and twisted perversions. There was only solace that could reign in freedom when Princess Propeesha and his master coexister faced disaster. Princess Propeesha carried the torch of this mission just like her mortal forefathers before her continue to do so until this day. Her forefathers also contributed to the magic hair gardens of today and tomorrow, so there will be no more sorrow or pain ever again. This is one of her forefathers, Earl Random Grey, bold and brave, seeker of justice and always fighting the enemy at hand, being pain. Pain and injustice. However, if you think forefather Earl Random Grey, bold brave's resume is impressive, you haven't met Master Wizard Tremendalin of the legendary Oates, being one of Princess Propeesha's grandfathers, who is also immortal and continues to be her greatest ally. Master Wizard Tremendalin of the legendary Oates, wisdom is profound. However, his magic capabilities stem from God's miraculous visibility. We can never do it alone. We cannot solve the biggest pain problems with just one perspective. Hence, we need great detectives like Princess Propeesha's famous master, Drakadruya Cobb. His powers involve being able to be in all places at once and bring cheer wherever there's sorrow for a better tomorrow. Master Drakadruya Cobb worked with his ally, His Majesty Royal Highness Dragon Noeji, whose powers encompass tuning into what each entity's pain was and magically healing with song, music, and tonal vibration. Keep in mind, these names are from an alien language, and therefore proper spelling and phonetic pronunciation is questionable. There he is. For example, His Majesty Royal Highness Dragonoje, whose powers encompass tuning into what each entity's pain was, tuned into the despair of this poor family on Earth. The child was one of the Magic Hair Garden's recipients, and the family was employed as groundskeepers for one of the Magic Hair Garden's farms. They were never hungry or poor again. And yes, the family lived happily ever after, thanks to Princess Propeesha and her allies' intervention. But the story continues, it does not end. Incredibly, there was a lot happening behind the scenes in the hair nursery that involved Princess Propeesha's germinator pollinator to transform the normal-looking buds into magnificent hair-producing beauties. He meticulously ensured that each flower would grow more potent, full of intoxicating scent, essences, and abilities to grow hair, attracting the magical potions and blessings of the sunflower, lovebirds, and the underwater princess Lilanuka. Hair had to comply with various specifications. There were earthly beings in need of hair above ground, below ground, and in the oceans. Hence, for the magic hair to grow, it needed blessings from all of the above. The blessing of the sunflower gave the magic hair garden sunshine to flourish as a sun network was permanently bonded with each flower. The two lovebirds couple added the ingredient of only limiting the magic hair gardens to grow for the good of humanity and prevented them to be used to do harm. They would cease to exist in such an instance, even against nefarious persistence. Underwater Princess Lilanuka blessed the magic hair gardens with incredible capability to also grow underwater and adapt to human amphibian hybrids like mermaids. The underwater princess Lilanuka also blessed the magic hair gardens and its flowers to not give into the perfect image portrayed everywhere that earthling humans need hair. Authentic beauty is on the inside, she stressed, not false depiction of beautiful cookie-cutter dolls with perfect hair all dressed. She instilled an element of morality to addiction of vanity. Unfortunately, most every human toy store portrayed happy children dancing with hair. Superficial beauty was associated with beautiful hair. They would not show a bald doll, they would not dare. A child seeing this after losing their hair could feel miserable about themselves, being reminded of what they lost instead of putting trust that they could regain it all again. The magic hair flowers could create the lost hair again to combat the pain of childhood bullying that unfortunately exists among children. Perfect little bodies with perfect little hair. Bullying is so childish, yes, yet so evil. What some children don't understand or cannot comprehend, fitting into the standard mold they ridicule to make themselves feel better by putting someone else down. We don't want to face it, but it happens more and more each morning, noon and dawn. This man, you see, used to be bald, also before Princess Propeesha's magic hair gardens gave him back his acting life. Even he was bullied and banned from acting again. Being bullied as an adult has painful consequences that we do not outgrow. News of so many success stories makes Princess Propeesha happy and re-energized to continue to bring aid. Every day, Princess Propeesha stays in touch with all her magic hair gardens, ensuring they are growing and flourishing properly. She showers them with lots of love and attention to detail. Her magic dress and veil touches each flower to ensure their potential is reached, and that their contract to deliver magnificent-looking hair crops is not breached. Unconditional love, that's what she's made up of. Pain is her enemy, and her mission is to eliminate it forever. The magic hair gardens are lush with fruit that transform into lifelike hair, materializing flowers resembling tiny human hair growing heads. The seeds for these flowering fruits that Princess Propeesha has accumulated derived from hybrid segments compiled across the infinite enormity and intergalactic abundance. There is no material wealth gained for Princess Propeesha to conduct these type of philanthropic gestures for complete strangers, only peace and happiness of heart. Princess Propeesha is the embodiment of true beauty inside and out. She is still all about love and making our existence better, who sees the beauty within others and appreciates all of God's creations and entities. In studying humans, Princess Propeesha realized that they do not take time out for smelling flowers. When it is the flowers who choose to make time to help the humans regain a sense of higher self-esteem, we cannot dismiss the tiniest of creations. Princess Propeesha taught us that when we seek out beauty, beauty will find us when we least expect it. The hidden beauty within flowers, such as simple beings and various things. Pear-shaped fruits of the magic hair gardens transformed into blooming flowers with creme and purple hues, the next cycle of their maturity almost complete. The magic hair garden flowers were spectacular and large. Princess Propeesha could stand under them like a huge umbrella. Each day they became stronger and more beautiful, feeding off of the earthly sun rays in preparation for growing hair. Everything was set in motion with invisible rays to avoid any commotion. There were so many predators waiting to cut some of these magical hair garden flowers down. Fortunately, Princess Propeesha lobbied with the Interstellar Conference on Protection of Life to restrict access to them. Only the selected groundskeepers were allowed to be close to the flowers, and Princess Propeesha had constant surveillance over them. The flowers changed colors and continued to bloom. It took months to see the first hair crops. But oh, what an amazing hair crop it was. It was truly bewildering. The hair was lustrous, shiny, and sheen beyond what human eyes have ever seen. Princess Propeesha had the capabilities to be in all her magical hair gardens at the same time. And then it happened. The first flower maturations transformed into gloriously beautiful hair manifestations. The flowers were alive, their heads almost looked human-like, while the quality of the hair they produced was out of this world. The hair was shiny, long, wavy, curly. Simply put, an endless supply of options and hairstyles to choose from. The hair flowers were eager to donate their hair crops because they knew that new hair would grow quickly back. What was mesmerizing about these hair flowers was how human they looked. It's as if they understood how vitally important their role is to change lives for the better. One very important cardinal rule Princess Propeesha enforced was that the beautiful hair flowers had to willingly and selflessly donate their hair and not be forced into it. The majority of the magic hair garden flowers did donate their hair, with no exception, willingly and in good faith. However, for the hair flowers who did not comply with donating their hair to help those in need, were uprooted and set free to roam the netherworlds as beautiful fairies and ethereal creatures. They could, of course, change their mind and transform back into the magical hair garden flowers. None ever did. Instead became famous for spreading good cheer in other ways as watchers, preventing dangers and disasters from happening using their magical powers. Philomena and Philostonia were two such magical hair garden flowers transformed into powerful good fairies. Philomena and Philostonia continue to fight the good fight in this galaxy and beyond till the end of time. Anywhere there is nefarious intention, Philomena and Philostonia continue to ponder the reason for their existence. Their mission is still aligned with Princess Propeesha's to eradicate pain, but using other variant solutions to do so other than growing their hair. The magic hair gardens continue to thrive, but are now covered by an invisibility veil. The idea of proper protection was the brainchild of Philomena and Philostonia. Now every segment of the human-populated world has a magic hair garden in close vicinity to them. However, the first magic hair gardens was planted by Princess Propeesha in the deep south near a sugarcane plantation because the flowers craved sugar as a vital nutrient. The magic hair flowers could practically eat anything that crawls or has a pulse, but they are restricted to sugar and oil because of the improved quality of the outcome. A couple centuries back, there was an incident where a nefarious force tried to turn the magic hair flowers into warriors of destruction and started feeding them meat. nefarious force made himself invisible from Princess Propeesha's advanced apparatuses of detection and fell prey to its deception. The project stopped before it could begin. The nefarious infected flowers were quarantined and never again seen. People talked about their suspicions of what happened to the infected hair flowers. Some say the nefarious force uprooted them to his galaxy to do his evil bidding. Others claim they are still on Earth looking for their next victim. If a human being places the infected flower hair on their heads, they become zombie-like and under the control of the hair flower itself. Then the hair flower uses the human as a sprouting host to mutate into a hybrid nefarious species out to do no good. There were many government and private funded expeditions to find these missing infected hair flowers. They searched far and wide, but the infected hair flowers were not found. Only remnants of a human ancestral past was uncovered by Professor Braunstrauer and his team of eager scouts. Life continued on a grand scale. Princess Propeesha was very fair, provided for the poor children, and earned the respect of the very wealthy in need of hair. Thanks to Princess Propeesha's reign, poverty and pain were a thing of the past, unknown to future generations. Abundance, prosperity, and happiness was the new norm. No more crying or place for sorrow. Miss Maribella recalls how everything changed for the better once she obtained her magic hair garden gift. She regained her self-confidence and volunteered at children's homes, eventually transforming into a spiritual guide with Owl at her side. Miss Maribella continues to act as a spirit guide with a magical owl at her side. She helps hair recipients transition in the Princess Propeesha tradition. She combats pain, focusing on one victim at a time. Over the many millennia, Princess Propeesha worked with her famous wizard friends to cheer people up to never give up on hope. Her magical owl just says, who's next? Sir Wizard Melchior Kudoku is one of these talented immortal individuals. as are his twin brothers Sir Wizard Maiku and Sir Wizard Maiku. With the assistance of his twin brothers, he works like no other. They work with the Earthly Make-A-Wish Foundation, and they magically make wishes come true. Regardless of the extent or the monumental expense, wishes continue to come true. For example, one earthly child wanted to experience what it would be like to be an android and not feel pain. Hence, the wizard brothers whisked the child away with the parents to a faraway universe where the beings were comprised of not biological organs but machine-like artificial components. The beings there wanted to experience what it would be like to live as a biological entity, while the earthly child received their wish and experienced what it's like being them. It was a magical exchange of experiences. Because beings in this universe were part of a collective, a one brain, one consciousness existence, there was no I in their life. Even though there were so many of them, they functioned as one whole. This was also fascinating for the earthly child, almost surreal, similar to playing in a video game, but not quite, as each decision was never made by one, but all. No individuality, privacy, or uniqueness. The child realized that we crave what we do not have or cannot attain. This race of advanced intelligent cyborgs may be at one time craved being an individual which they experienced for a brief while, exchanging places with the Earth child. Back on Earth, the magical hair flowers were ready to provide a new harvest. The hair quality was more beautiful and stronger than ever. There were the triplet hair flowers that produced long, fine hair that was as black as tar and shiny as the night sky. New pots continued to bloom and soon developed into the most beautiful hair flowers the world has ever seen. The hair flowers were simply pristine. The answers to so many people's prayers to give them a second chance at being normal, at being themselves. Princess Propeesha continued to watch over her magical hair gardens without blinking, without winking. This was one of her projects without end. The groundskeepers told her to take a break. Princess Propeesha continued to tell them, "I must stay awake. Do not make a mistake." But deep down inside, she knew it was time to move on to others in the endless universes and galaxies that also need her help, because these earthly magic hair gardens were now a well-oiled, self-propelling machine. My beloved magic hair gardens of Earth, you are in good hands now. There was a peace that surrounded Princess Propeesha, knowing that people will not needlessly suffer as a result of hair loss no more. No one will suffer in silence from being bald unless they choose to be bald. Princess Propeesha came up with a permanent remedy. The flowers of the magic hair gardens are invisible to most, unless Princess Propeesha rarely grants you a peek to their mystique. Thereby admire the beauty of each flower, whether they are a magic hair flower or not. The incredible power they have of bringing a smile to our faces is also worth a lot of gratitude. Princess Propeesha creates endless amounts of magic gardens across the galaxies to solve various pain situations, but it is the flowers, the magic hair flowers, that she has an affinity for the most. The magic hair garden flowers also crowned her the heroine, as she gave them purpose and hero status. Like a superhero, the magic hair flowers carried Princess Propeesha on their leaves and paraded their queen across the magical hair garden fields. Hip hip hooray to our queen, Princess Propeesha. Hip hip hooray! After this splendid parade of special affection, Princess Propeesha disappeared from Earth, back into intergalactic action. She visited her numerous friends in faraway places, celebrating the earthly project's completion that was placed in perpetual motion. First, she visited His Highness King Melchior, who she has not seen in centuries. They used to defeat the pain of death in the universe Triopilipili. Believe it or not, citizens of His Highness King Melchior do not die. Maybe that is something she can resolve returning back to Earth someday. Then she visited King Melchiori of the far east distant universe of Zerki. This king had the power to create planets and grow universes. Limited only by its imagination, King Melchior was of a race defined by the essence of energy. Then she visited King Alabrakandadra and its very evolved society, Highness, power, was it of helping beings reincarnate, transform, move on, to learn from the University of Life, and give more chances to get it right. King Alabrakandadra showed Princess Propeesha a version of what we human beings refer to as hell, souls in a constant state of pain. It got her thinking only if they had a second chance again. A whirlwind of pain. You can almost hear them. Constant state of unrest. Torture and unrest. Indeed, the pain was unbearable for Princess Propeesha to behold. The souls were trapped in their own regrets, in their own torment and tortures and losses. They are no longer privy to their own will. They are condemned to serve their new bosses. Princess Propeesha taught long and hard and created a garden of second chances to prove these beings are worthy of salvation and redemption. That is how the magical garden of second chances came to be, to set the poor souls free and let them be. This garden had magical twists and turns, opportunities to prove themselves worthy of redemption. At every corner, Princess Propeesha and her magical swan cheered them on. The swan and the princess resemble a symbolic beacon of light and hope for poor unfortunate souls that needed both. In this magical garden of second chances, the tainted hair flowers were finally found. The ones whose mission was tainted instead of growing hair to help others, they had nefarious intentions and therefore deserved the proper mandatory detention. Princess Propeesha was all about unconditional love, not condemning but teaching morals to the depressing yet true stories. Princess Propeesha continues to watch over her magic hair garden's flock, to continually see how to improve her methods, all while wearing her creative outfits, which she also designs and makes from special hair wool created from the leftover stems of the magic hair flowers. Then she donates the outfits to the needy and therefore they will no longer be cold or without clothes. The fabric from the leftover stems of the magic hair flowers is incredibly unique as it does not require washing and still remains clean. Nothing goes to waste that is her taste. When there is no more certain types of pain in the world, it becomes more productive and life's focus will be on enjoying and thriving rather than merely surviving. That is the ambience that returned. Happiness blossomed, love ruled. Princess Propeesha's magic hair gardens profoundly changed our perspectives on what really mattered. Living and being present in the moment, acknowledging how very divine we all are by far, fitting in should not be a concern of pain, as is sweating the small stuff should be a thing of the past, and forget the rest. Princess Propeesha showed us that yes, we all have differences of opinions and looks, but that is a reason for celebration of our uniqueness. The magic hair garden flowers continued to blossom and bloom, and more people became recipients of their gifts. They also evolved to combat pain further by tackling many hairy issues. Issues such as poverty and hunger were things of the past, as the magic hair garden flowers contribute tremendously to the economy and betterment of humanity. The magic hair flowers impacted so many lives for the better. Children and adults no longer had to endure the pain of hair loss, while the excess parts of the flower that would be discarded created clothes. What started out as functional clothes from the flower to keep the needy warm and clean ended up being a fashion icon, leading to international and intergalactic fashion show displays. The magic hair flowers became celebrities and heroes, while Princess Propeesha looked on proud as ever. Similarly, on one of the numerous planets Princess Propeesha ventured to help, the land of quadra-octopi, remembered how her simple magic solution of helping them grow tentacles to survive ended saving their planet from devastation. Without the use of their tentacles, the race was helpless. After solving their painful problem, they were able to engineer unheard-of technology that ended up altering their atmosphere, prolonging their life, and ultimately saving the planet. It is projects like these that keep Princess Propeesha constantly on the lookout for the next way to help others get out of hopelessness and pain. To be themselves again, Princess Propeesha continues to be in touch with all of her pain-relieving solutions. Whether they be near or far, they are all close to her heart and never apart. The magic hair flowers keep her abreast of their progress and suggest viable next steps she should take to ameliorate and further decorate the dreariness of daily life. She takes each opinion seriously. Maybe we can try it this way or that way, but it's never only my way. Although Princess Propeesha appears to us in human form, she is not human. She takes on the form of the being that she is helping out. For example, to the galaxies, she manifests as this entity to make everyone comfortable around her. That's her. Well, another planet, she appears as one of them also. What we consider beautiful can be disgusting to another. Thereby, we cannot judge, we just have to accept everyone just the way they are. Her camouflage makes others comfortable around her. She is a true chameleon. On one of these journeys, she was drawn to help the race of entities in a universe million light years away from Earth. The race of entities was not biological, but rather holographic, and took on many forms, creating multi-dimensional art out of their presence. They were master storytellers. They were gatekeepers of all knowledge and all meta-knowledge. Hence, they told Princess Propeesha the story how earthly beings prayed many centuries for a savior to deliver them from evil. There was so much pain surrounding their existence that they could not go on. It was happening in one of a multitude of parallel universes like Earth. Princess Propeesha's foreparents planted a magical hair garden similar to the one of Earth. The magical hair garden made the citizens realize that they had the power to heal thyself. It was all within them internally. The magic hair flowers to this day still most powerfully reign and on the Elder Council remain. They can be seen everywhere and nowhere. They have the ability to become invisible when necessary. To this day, they are actively guarding their domain for lurking predators to prevent contaminating the citizens with paralyzing fear. Fear is even worse than pain because it freezes everyone in their tracks and thereby restricts their ability to heal and grow to see a better tomorrow. Princess Propeesha's magic swan at her side suggested to give animals on various planets similar to Earth the same ability of invisibility as the magic hair flowers when in danger. The magic hair flowers agreed to cloak animals in danger from lurking predators. The magic hair flower's ability to become invisible saved many animals in this way from illegal poachers and hunters. So as you can see, their powers go way beyond just hair. The magic hair flowers are constantly on the watch for poor souls in need of assistance, suffering and pain. Their chosen role is to give them a second chance so they could happily live again. So watch your backs, bad guys, and leaders with nefarious intentions. The magic hair garden guardians are out to serve and protect. They protect the good and surveil the ones out to do harm. That is their charm. A very potent power of the magic hair garden flowers is that of infiltrating one's mind and creating hallucinations. So anyone who dares to pick on the weak and humble will learn a lesson or two, transitioning into a nightmare tutorial not to repeat their evil doing. Wherever there are flowers, don't assume they are not connected to the Magic Hair Flower Garden Network. This network is grand and has allies in all kinds of shapes and forms, from the mighty blackbirds, the magical transforming duck. They all talk and communicate to eradicate pain. This mighty blackbird is always on the lookout to inform Princess Propeesha if an intervention of help is necessary. As is this duck, which can't wait to swoop into action at the first sign of injustice needing attention. Her powers are imagination, seeing what is possible, deflates the gates of impossibility. The Magic Hair Gardens of Parallel Earth, number 091101, incredibly and most profoundly brought aid and eliminated pain, both psychologically and physically. Because as the hair started to grow, their health condition improved. The magic hair flowers were immortal and hence became ambassadors of what is possible to others. Princess Propeesha is always with us. We just need to think of her, and she is there with us, ready to help. What is amazing is how humble she continues to remain. She claims that it's not her who is a savior, rather she is a servant of Him, the Mighty One, the Creator of all. She is one of many, like Lord Latribucae, Lady Montavadviva, Lord Latribucae and Lantamaviva, both like Princess Propeesha, have a mission to eradicate pain from existence no matter its persistence. Lord Latribucae and Lamantaviva both share a similar genealogical lineage, that of Princess Propeesha. There are so many mysteries and undiscovered knowledge that if you look closely, you can tap into. When we see patterns of chaos, ultimately we can decipher and recognize beings that can teach us more about ourselves. Can you see us? They would say. We see you for who you are, like a star. Beings open to the possibilities is the most important aspect of progressing to the next level of awareness. At first glance, we didn't think the planet of the Carvison Invisibile was inhabited, but it was. What their citizens discovered is that other appearances were not important and petty to waste their energy on. What was important is to develop a keen sense of empathy, the hidden symbolism we need to train ourselves to be able to respond to the needs of others. We are here, we are there, we are everywhere and everyone. We exist to learn and share our inventions and technology to benefit the rest. We evolved and continue to evolve and change to become the best versions of ourselves. The goal is to have compassion and wisdom. It can be done. We have achieved it. Use us as an example. Live in love. Do not destroy and create wars. Ask for help. We are out here waiting to intervene so that life can be serene. You know we have been watching since the beginning of time. Without your permission, we cannot share what we know or even disclose our existence. So that's the cutting-edge intergalactic news Earth received. The magic hair gardens proved the existence of all alien life, and everyone's life changed for the better, thanks to the hair gardens' gifts and unconditional love from above. The perpetual story continues without end, and by now you maybe already know someone impacted by this hairy solution, maybe a relative or a friend. For now, I bid you temporarily farewell and invite you to meet me on my Universal channel on YouTube, entitled Eva Kravchik, for more creative contents and future illustrated stories like these. Dear friends, if you would like to acquire items such as posters, apparel, blankets, etc. depicting any of my original illustrations featured in this book, check out my gift store with the URL link below. https://my-store-1016020.creator-spring.com. This was brought to you by Art by Eva Productions. And everything around us influences us in some way. I try to live my days as if it was my last, believing in the impossible being possible.